we have to start off with sports. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Boo.
Come on, don't boo. This is good stuff.
I'm wearing blue for the
Patriots.
blue people.
The Patriots. These are the blue people. Well, unfortunately, the blue people did not win.
Yes.
That's right. The Philadelphia Eagle fans are all saying fly, Eagles, fly this morning after they won their first ever Super Bowl last night.
That is right.
Yes.
They beat the New England Patriots in a nail-biting game that ended in a score of 41-43.
Yeah, but get this. It was a great game, first of all. It was a great game. It was nail-biting. You were like, who's going to win? Who's going to win? It kept going back and forth. The Philadelphia Eagles, they showed their solidarity to imprisoned rapper Meek Mill during the Super Bowl entrance and celebrity win last night. It was a celebratory win. It was amazing for them. They were just all over. They were hyped. The fans were hyped. It was great. And the Eagles took to the field to his 2012 song, Dreams and Nightmares, the ultimate underdog story.
Yes, indeed. Now, the Philly-born rapper who is serving 2 to 4 years for parole violation said it really lifted my spirit to hear the team rally around my songs. And that's why I make music, to inspire others and bring people together.
That was great because they were playing it in the locker room. They were playing it when they hit the field. They were all over Meek Mill.
You know, free Meek Mill.
Exactly. That's what everybody was saying. And even LeBron James tweeted a line from the song congratulating the team. Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished?
Y'all
thought I was finished?
That was terrible.
Yeah, we're not rappers.
I mean,
we'll leave it to
clearly
Meek Mill.
not. Okay, no, we have to get it right at least one time.
Okay. Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was through. No, okay. Well, either way, we'll let him sing the song.
Let's let the singers sing because clearly we don't know how to. So, on the subject of singer, let's talk about Pink.
Yes.
She nailed the national anthem with a flute.
That's impressive.
Yep, and that wasn't even the best part.
Okay.
The 3-time Grammy winner absolutely slayed her performance after revealing that she was sick on Instagram.
That's right. I remember she posted trying to practice with the flu. And I've been waiting to sing this song since 1991 when I saw my idol, Whitney Houston, own this song. And she did own that song. And now it's her chance, she was saying. So she had to come to and, you know, struggle through.
Yes, indeed. But she did. And Shannon, one crazy fan on Twitter thought she sounded nothing like the iconic Whitney Houston.
Shade.
In fact, he tweeted, you want shade? This is the ultimate shade. He tweeted that the singer sucks.
Oh, come on. That's
we ain't
not
buying
fair.
it though, honey.
Well, of course, true in true Pink fashion. Clap back.
Oh, yeah.
Clap back. And she said to him, and this is what she said. Quote tweeting, at least I suck singing the national anthem, and you just suck on a dirty couch.
Oh, the shade.
Yeah. On a dirty couch, not just a couch.
On a dirty couch.
Dang.
Uh-oh. Okay, now.
I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at her.
It would seem that the New England Patriots weren't the only Super Bowl losers.
Aww.
JT took home an L. It's been a trying few days for JT. On Friday, he released Man of the Woods, which was the weakest and most savagely reviewed album of his career.
Wow, that's pretty bad. Here he is performing, and you know what? His halftime performance, well, it just flopped. You know, a lot of people were talking about it. I was in a room of a lot of people, and they were like, this is it? They was like, bring Beyonce back, bring Bruno Mars back, even Lady Gaga back.
Right?
Or Janet Jackson would have saved it
That's
also.
what we thought was going to happen, but unfortunately we were wrong. And if you thought social media was going to give JT a pass, well, then you were also wrong. JT's halftime performance has drawn mixed reactions from fans and haters alike. And in my opinion, I think it's well deserved.
That's right.
People were not too happy with Justin Timberlake's tribute to iconic Minneapolis musician Prince.
That's so true, because of course Timberlake showcased a number of his own songs during his set, but included a performance of, there it is, it's the same tribute right there, right? So the part you hear now is he sang this song, I would die for you.
I thought we just said no more singing.
Yeah, sorry, I can't help it. When you got Prince, you gotta sing. Well, it's a giant projection they had of the artist on a large billowing sheet there behind him on stage.
Yeah.
And the form of this type of ghoulish duet is something that Prince himself called demonic. He was basically saying if he wanted to perform with somebody, he would perform with them while they're alive, not while they're dead.
He had specifically said, do not hologram me in my death.
Yeah.
And there you go, hologramming him in his death.
Technically, it wasn't hologram, it was projection, but still,
it was demonic.
He didn't want it. But I did like how they lit up the whole city in purple. That was kind of nice.
Are you going to make a Purple Rain pun?
Yes. Okay, I won't. but it didn't look like that. It's just beautiful. It was a beautiful tribute.
Okay.
Minus the song part.
It was a great tribute. And, you know, Janet Jackson's family still has not forgiven Justin Timberlake for the infamous wardrobe malfunction during their 2004 Super Bowl set. But they have said that they know exactly how he can make it up to her.
Yep, her father, of course, Joe Jackson, said if JT were a gentleman, he'd ensure Janet was there at the game. Now, for those of you who don't remember, 14 years ago, JT took to the stage with Janet to perform his hit "Rock Your Body," and memorably. So this is what happened. I'll have you naked by the end of this song, and he tore off, and her clothes came off, and she had a little star covering her nip there.
Very revealing.
Yeah, and so that's how it went down. It was perfect timing, though. People were like, "Well, did they know? Do you think Janet?"
I think they knew.
Perfect timing.
I think maybe just a little bit more came off than they were anticipating. But you know, the worst thing about it is, in the 14 or 13 or however many years it's been since that happened, Justin Timberlake said like a half sorry one time.
Half sorry.
Once. Once.
And he tried
to let Janet take the fall for all of this. I mean, Janet's career took a decline ever since that day. We've only just started talking about her again since she, you know,
went on tour and everything. Had the baby.
When she had the baby and decided to take the man for all his money after 5 years.
She needed it because Justin played her. She needed the money.
Also very true.
But he tried to say in an interview before the Super Bowl that, they're good terms now. They're
fine.
About
good
she
terms.
Forgave him. Forgave.
You globally revealed her boob, so globally apologize.
Very good point.
Thank
we'll
you.
End it there. And he got what he deserved, because just because you're booked to perform at the Super Bowl doesn't necessarily mean that everyone knows who you are.
Yes.
For example, 13-year-old Ryan McKenna showed us what that meant, because he appeared more concerned about his phone during the show's halftime performance than Justin Timberlake himself, who was standing inches away from him.
Yes, it is hilarious. Now the precious teen, who has now been dubbed the selfie kid at Super Bowl, is now an internet meme. Twitter users have been rejoicing in McKenna's viral fame by posting a load of hilarious memes of him staring down at his phone when JT approached him. The 7th grader said he is now the talk of his middle school in Massachusetts.
That's kind of cool. He's the talk of the school right now, but unfortunately
I thought it was hilarious because you know, he didn't know who Justin Timberlake was, but I bet you he knows who Janet Jackson is.
Ooh, shade again. Well, one of the things that everybody was also talking about, of course, at the Super Bowl was all the best and worst Super Bowl commercials, which we will be breaking down later in the show. Don't you worry. We're going to get to it. We're going to show you all the best and worst commercials later in the shows.
Now enough football talk. I'm bored.
Okay,
let's talk babies.
Oh, babies!
In typical Kardashian Jenner, I should coin a new phrase. Cardena?
I like that, actually.
In typical Cardena fashion, the family's news has once again overshadowed a major American event. Younger sister Kylie Jenner has welcomed her beautiful and healthy baby girl and shared the news with us via Instagram.
Oh, that's so beautiful. The 20-year-old reality star gave birth to her first child, a baby girl, on Thursday, and according to the message that she shared on social media accounts on Sunday, she also posted a YouTube video with a subsequent message showing the baby at the end, the stats, of course, which included the baby was born at 4:43 p.m. and weighed 8 pounds 9 ounces. Congratulations.
You know, congrats. Yeah. But can we talk about the fact that Momager Chris might be the best manager in the world?
Yeah.
She said you haven't been in the news for 9 whole months, Kylie. Overshadowed the Super Bowl.
Right. Of all things, like you had the baby on Thursday, but you wait till Sunday, the biggest night in football.
We can all take cues. You know, they say in Harvard that there's now a business marketing course that's it's modeled on Beyonce and her surprise release of her album. Take tips from Kris Jenner, guys.
Yeah, pimp out your kids. I mean, help market
maybe not
your
that
kids.
far. Maybe not that far.
Well, that's what it seems like she's doing sometimes.
Okay, let's talk about people that actually love their kids.
Okay, well, people love their kids.
Is us.
Yes, this show is just, I mean, it is just emotional to the emotional bone.
It has us crying every day.
And they have taken empathy to a whole new level. The emotional tapping NBC drama left fans feeling a multitude of emotions with Sunday's big post-Super Bowl episode. Remember, we talked about this before, and they finally answered the question surrounding Jack's death in the show's biggest mystery. I'm about to cry again.
Now, we all know the show is infamous for sneaking in little details that are often often only hit us after the fact. And Sunday's episode was no different, with a plethora of tiny emotional subtleties. In fact, Jack's death scene contained a blink and you'll miss it detail that, upon a rewatch, makes Rebecca's absence from his passing even more heartbreaking. But for those of you that missed the episode, don't worry, we will not be giving away any more spoilers.
But I will, y'all. This is what happened.
There you go. No more spoilers.
I tried, y'all. All right, we'll talk about something happy because that's just way too emotional.
Yes.
Tiffany Haddish is always making us smile and laugh.
We love her.
And guess what? She was single and ready to mingle at the Super Bowl on Sunday.
She was.
She joked that she was hoping to meet a man at the big game, hopefully a football player who can pay her,
pay the bills.
You know, pay your bills. Can you pay? All right.
No more singing.
I can't help it. All right. Well, she got the help of fellow comedian Kevin Hart to do it.
Yes, indeed. Now, you'll remember that the Girls Trip star went viral with a story that she told on Jimmy Kimmel about taking Will and Jada Pinkett Smith on a swamp tour in Louisiana with a Groupon voucher. And the company actually paid her back with a Super Bowl ad.
That's not bad.
So here's hoping she found her Mr. Right, or at least Mr. Right Now.
Oh, or Mr. Right Now. That never hurts nobody, right?
Yeah, right?
But it couldn't have been Kevin Hart because he was like wasted
He was
night.
wasted and he doesn't need any more scandals.
Yeah, he doesn't need any more scandals, and hopefully he behaved himself while he was drunk stumbling around.
He was with his wife.
Yeah,
he would have to be a very crazy man to not.
She had to keep him in line last night because he was drunk. A lot of people talking about he made a fool of himself.
He was
television.
hilarious.
I didn't think it was that bad. I mean,
he was so funny. He tried to get into a VIP area, and the security guards literally went, just smushed him in the face. And then let all the other footballers through. It was hilarious. He's not a footballer. Let the footballers through.
Yeah, and he was on another show where he was like giving his interview, and he was just like, yeah, man, you're feeling well. And he was just going off, and it was crazy. So people were talking about him, and Tiffany shared a suite with him, so she was trying to get Kevin to hook him up with some of the other football players.
She was sitting down in a regular seat, and then she tweeted, she Instagrammed a photo saying, Kevin, if you hear this, I'm right here in seat 21A, I'll be, Clearly my American accent's not very good. And on that note, we'll be right back with more Rise Entertainment 360. Welcome back to Rise Entertainment 360.
That's right, we're back.
We are back and confused from the weekend.
Exactly.
Now, while many bluegrass and hip-hop musicians rather, you know, it's not normally your regular combination, but our first guest has found a way to mix the two together and create a mellifluous sound.
That's right, and now he has a group that's heading out on tour here with more singer, songwriter, and producer Rench. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, we need to talk about the name of your group,
Okay,
Ganstagrass.
Ganstagrass.
I mean, wow, first of all.
It's a little bit self-explanatory, right? You have bluegrass players and you have hip-hop MCs coming together to collaborate.
What made you want to even mix the two together?
These are influences that I've had for a long time. I grew up in California in the 80s when hip-hop was exploding. So in third grade for me, recess was about putting down cardboard to do backspins to the Beat Street soundtrack, to Run DMC, all that kind of stuff. But my dad's from Oklahoma, so when I got home on the turntable, it was all Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash and stuff like that. I came to New York, I live in Brooklyn, and I was producing hip-hop beats for rappers, and I always had these instincts to be like, you know what would sound really cool here would be a little fiddle or some pedal steel guitar, which they never wanted to do. So I started doing it for myself, and it really caught on.
So what kind of reactions do you get when you tell people that you mix bluegrass with hip-hop?
Well, unfortunately, when I say it with words, usually people run away.
Right.
They try to imagine it themselves, and what they imagine is something really bad. So everybody out there that's thinking, this is never going to work, you know, it's one of those things that you kind of have to hear how we do it to understand how it could really work.
Well, I think we may have a clip, hopefully. We can show people a little bit of what the music sounds like, what it looks like. Because when I saw it, I was very impressed. Like, okay, so let's take a look at a clip.
Amazing.
Clan battalion, stampede on the tracks like a gang of stallions. Put your arms up, wave your hands around, and make some noise for the way my band is sounding. Started from the bottom, scrounging and scraping, an age when there was no frauds or faking. Back in the days when you placed the tape in, recorded every word MCs are saying. Now the beats are breaking, returning to greatness. Put some Ganstagrass joints on your playlist. Whatever your faith is, say your prayers. Meet us on the Hudson or the Delaware. We gon' take what we do once we get it there, put it together and send it to every hemisphere. Even though we bring the heat, you can bet it's rare, and everybody's gonna want a piece, so you better share. Meet me down by the river, all for one, Meet me down by the corner, it's all for one tonight.
I love that.
Right?
I love that. Okay, little known secret. I actually really like country music.
Sure.
Don't tell anyone.
I don't mind it either. I can do
feel
like square dancing, the
But
same
you know
as
what?
line dancing.
I feel like there's so many people that have like Johnny Cash on their iPads as well as Jay-Z. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
exactly what I've been saying.
That's
You scratch the
amazing.
surface. There's people all out there that have all kinds of mixed tastes in music.
Yeah.
We just get the wrong idea because we have separate charts, separate magazines, separate TV stations, but the actual audience is all overlapping out there.
Oh.
Well,
my
okay, so how do you get the audience into your venues, and what does your audience look like?
Well, it depends on where we're playing. If we're playing in Kentucky, it's one audience, and if we're playing in Philadelphia or LA, it's a different audience, or in Brooklyn, where we are now. You know, it's a pleasure to play around the country for all kinds of different people and watch these different audiences that come see us get down to the same music and open up to the idea that we could all party together really across these perceived differences.
I love that. Now, historically speaking, hip hop is, of course, black, if you will, whilst, you know, bluegrass is speaking like white, right?
Well, that's the perception
That's the
that we've been
perception.
given by the industry, but really if you trace roots back, you see so much cross-collaboration and so much cross-influences. You know, the roots of country music, if you go back, the banjo is an African instrument that was brought over by slaves in their memories of what they would play, and they created them when they got here, and that was appropriated and became part of bluegrass. And of course country music was the combination of the British ballad tradition with the gospel tradition of the slaves there, and the blues and everything crosses over each other. So this perception that we have this clear-cut white and black music is something that's been perpetuated a lot by the industry, not by the musicians.
And because of these perceptions, do you feel like you're doing something to improve race relations?
I would hope so, and that's part of what is so exciting about this project, is the idea that we can go out there and challenge these assumptions, that there's so much separation and that we can't bridge these perceived gaps, when really there's so much common ground there that we can do musically, and also to bring up the common ground that those music share in terms of the ideas of the outlaw, the ideas of the economic hardship that's actually shared in different parts of the country that people don't sometimes see as common ground, but really can be.
Yeah. Do you ever have trouble mixing the two, or mixing both the crowds and the music?
No, the crowds get along great. People are so happy to have the chance to come and be part of something that's bringing people together. I think people are really looking for that right now, and the music comes naturally. Once you get the musicians together, they start going, and we start finding so much commonality. Hip-hop and bluegrass both have very strong improvisational elements and just different words for the same things. And so when we found, like, passing something around in a circle where you're improvising and trading solos and stuff, in hip hop it's called a cipher, with one guy beatboxes and the other guys trade verses off the top of their heads. And in bluegrass it's called a pick, where somebody calls out a song and they start trading solos off the top of their heads. But once we realized these words were different but the ideas were the same, we could just jump on that and start doing that across these genres. So that's just one example of how much the musicians are easy to slip into it.
So you mentioned that there are hip-hop MCs in the group, but you also mentioned that you have a hip-hop background in terms of the music that you like to listen to. So do you also rap?
I have occasionally.
Can you rap for us?
Yes, come on, give it a little something. You can even play the guitar.
Yes, we're going to play and rap at the same time.
Yes, I could do a little Cypress Hill for you.
Oh, yes.
If that's not a problem.
Right now. Yes. Come on, man.
Hey, now don't miss out on what what you passing, you're missing the hood. I'm the funky Buddha, a looter. You messed up style, I get wicked. So come on to Cypress, start to kick it. Cause we're like outlaws striding, we're suckers are hiding. Jump behind the bush when they see me striding by. Hanging out the window with my Magnum, taking out some putos, acting kinda loco. I'm just another local kid on the street getting paid by my vocals. Here is something you can't understand, how I could just kill a man. Here is something you can't understand, how I could just kill a man. Here is something you can't understand, how I could just kill a man. Here is something you can't understand, how I could just kill a man. So I tend to start countrifying when I'm rapping. Same thing the other way.
You can't help it. It goes interchangeable, right?
And I start singing country music, and I want to put beats and DJ scratching under it.
I like that. I like
Loving it.
So when you are mixing and you guys, are you with the rappers and you're with the other, but how did you find the rappers? I know we were wondering that. How did you find the rappers and say, you know what, I have this idea.
Can you rap along to Bluegrass for me?
Yes, well, I love producing beats, and so that's part of my background is producing beats and having a studio, and I would, rappers would come to help me work on their tracks, and I would record their vocals and mix their tracks and everything just as a hip-hop producer. And so through that I met a lot of MCs here in New York that I started working with, and when I decided to start doing this bluegrass hip-hop collaboration, I tested it out in the studio first by calling up some of the MCs that I worked with and say, hey, would you mind if I took those vocals that you laid down and then I put some bluegrass with it? And they didn't know what bluegrass was, but they said, sure, Rench, go ahead, try that out. And so that was the initial experiment that kicked it off.
So being that you're all from different diverse backgrounds within the group, what does it work like? How do you guys not all hang out together, or you're only friends in the group and then you do your own thing outside of it? How does it work?
We love hanging out together. The band's pretty spread out though. The ones that we do for the live show, I have a banjo player in New Jersey and MCs in Philadelphia and a dobro player that's actually in Flagstaff right now. So we kind of come together when it's time to hit the road, but then we get to hang out a lot, spend those days in the van. Driving
Jamming
from city
to DMX,
right.
Well, before you go, you have to tell us where you guys are going to be touring. You're going to be in that van traveling around.
Yes, in March we're going all across the Midwest and the Southeast. We're going from New York to D.C. to Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and then down through Tennessee and Kentucky and North Carolina. And so check out Ganstagrass.com. All the tour dates are listed there that you can see us going around. We're in 20, 25 cities.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Amazing.
Okay.
So www.gangstagrass.com.
Yes.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you, Rench.
Yes, keep up the great work, and please, if you don't mind singing us to break, whatever you like.
Absolutely. Here's a little ode
We should get you and him to do a cipher. You can rap.
I'll rap, you go, you play.
Yeah, you can play and then he'll rap.
Right. Well, here's a little countryside of the outlaw narrative that hip-hop shares, but this is an ode to getting arrested. Here I am again, getting read my rights every time that I do my thing. My chauffeur's got a siren and these handcuffs are my bling. I may be causing trouble, but my friends, I do it well. And you know where you can find me, in my home sweet holding cell.
We will be right back.
I look good in a mugshot, in the back of a cruiser, I'm still hot. I know my rights and I won't stop.
I won't stop.
Using the freedom that I got.
I got freedom
Speaking
now.
my mind, taking the street.
My mind
and
in
if
the
they come
street.
to put the cuffs on me,
Click, click,
thank God I look good in a mugshot.
And I did
Thank God I look good in a mugshot. You got it.
Awesome. That was Welcome back to Arise Entertainment 360. Now, you may recognize our next guests from shows like Fox and Friends or our very own Arise Network.
Yes, indeedy. He's an Emmy Award-winning journalist who's now the co-owner of the Soundbite restaurant in New York's Hell's Kitchen. Chef Julian Phillips, welcome to Arise 360.
Yes, I'm back home.
Oh, welcome back.
Welcome back, right?
So nice to have you here with us.
Yeah, great to be here.
And thank you so much for bringing this here with you.
We all know
it
this
looks
is Shannon's
amazing.
favorite part of the show.
I'm taking
time
this
to
back
eat.
with me.
Oh, no. We won't make it out the door. It smells too good. But before we get to tasting, tell us a little bit more about why you decided to start the business.
Well, I've been cooking for 30 years. I've been cooking in restaurants from here to Wuhan, China. And it's always been a passion of mine. And it's something that I wanted to do, getting out of news and kind of somewhat out of it right now, not totally. And we decided to put this together in something that marriages news with jazz, because my wife is a Grammy-selected jazz vocalist. And so we're having a great time in Hell's Kitchen.
Wow-wee. I mean, surrounded by celebrities and married to one too.
Exactly.
Oh, well, yeah, she's the better half for sure.
Yes, very much so.
So talk to me about some of your specialities.
Well, you know, I developed this fusion of Cajun, Southern, and Italian. It's something I just developed. I don't know where it came from, but the main thing behind it are the blackened wings. So basically, it's a Cajun wing, and what I've married the Cajun with is with Italian. Say with the wing here, we have 6 dipping sauces. 2 are with Italian. A Puntanesca sauce, which is made on premises.
Wait, which ones are which?
Okay, this is a Puntanesca. This is pesto. Puntanesca is a very robust Italian sauce. It's kind of fishy because it has anchovies in it, and Kalamata onions and olives and a lot of black pepper, red peppers.
I love the texture.
This looks like a Nigerian stew.
Right, it does.
It just looks like African rice obe.
There are certain foods around the world that are very emotional. Italians are very emotional about your food, and it's rich in spices. You go to Africa, you go to China, you go to certain parts of Europe, and you'll find robust spices, and that's what you're going to find in this cuisine.
Okay.
Not too spicy, because people here in New York don't like things that are too spicy, but it marriages a number of things. We have pastas and fishes and all those kinds of things, and you kind of meld them all together, and there you have the Cajun, Southern, and Italian cuisine.
So talk to me about that fusion, because that's really interesting sounding to me. Cajun, Southern, I can understand. Italian, that's like out of left field.
Again, you take a wing, and then you dip it in a Puntanesca
Wait,
sauce.
you said take a wing.
Yeah.
There we go. And a dip
Pig in the middle.
Okay.
And there you have the fusion of Cajun and Italian.
Great too.
And then you have pesto. And then we have pastas also that you have there with say for instance, you have a pasta with, say for instance, a blackened branzini over Puntanesca. You know, and you meld all these different flavors and spices, and that's where it comes in. And no one's really doing this. And they always say there's really nothing new under the sun, but this is quite different.
This is different. I mean, it tastes great even without the sauce. So how did you perfect this blackening technique? What are you doing?
Because that's quite hard to get right. Like a lot of things just end up burnt.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, it's a matter of what they say, timing, grasshopper, timing. So you know, you use a cast iron skillet and you heat it up to its highest degree without any kind of butter or fat in it. We use olive oil. You know, because it has a low threshold for heat, so it's smoky. So it's kind of hard to do this in your home if you have a weak hood. A lot of people who blacken on the outside. But what we do with the wing, because it's the highest fat content of any part of the chicken, you blacken it. But you blacken it and you put it in the olive oil. You blacken it, and then after that you finish it off in the oven. Because you can't just blacken. Other things like fish and stuff like that, you can blacken right away. At the high heat, sears in the juices on the inside, and it has that dark charcoal type of look on the outside.
Yeah, and that's what makes it gives it its own flavor, where it's like charcoal, and it's like you could just eat the skin, and it just tastes amazing by itself.
Yeah, it does. And you see, I can't stand.
I mean, I feel like you might need a room.
Napkin, that's what I need.
There you go.
It actually is much healthier than the average buffalo wing because it is black and it's not fried. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. So I'm also selling the healthier content of it. But what the anchor bar was to the buffalo wing, we want the Soundbite restaurant to be to the blackened wing. So it'll be the home of the blackened wing. And it's really
to go get it.
Yes, it's doing very, very well. We went through 700 pounds of chicken wings in the first week.
Wow, 700 pounds?
That is a lot.
Yeah.
Now talk to me about these famed dipping sauces that these chicken wings go with.
You mentioned this one already.
Yeah, Puntanesca. Then you have the pesto sauce, which I mentioned.
Oh, this is pesto sauce.
Yeah,
okay.
Then you have the Cajun remoulade sauce. You have a barbecue sauce, a garlic sauce, and a buffalo sauce.
Wow.
Buffalo barbecue, I really didn't want, but my partner said, you got to. So why don't we have celery and blue cheese? But we put it in, and people are actually, using it. So I use a Kansas City barbecue sauce because I love barbecue, and out of all the barbecues that are out there, Midwestern, Texas, Southeastern, I like Midwestern the best.
Okay.
So it's a great. Well, you have most of your barbecue barbecue, okay, for instance, northeastern Memphis is more of a vinegar-based.
It's more thicker too,
It
right?
can be.
Okay.
You know, you find in Texas you have a lot of dry rub, as the same within the Midwest, but they're different flavors. So, you know, people are very particular about their barbecue.
Yes, they are.
I happen to like Midwestern barbecue more than any of the others, but that's just a personal choice.
Okay, now before we run out of time, we have to make sure we get to the mac and cheese as well, because this looks amazing.
Basic.
You know I don't need it on camera. What are you trying to do to me, huh?
Make me feel like I'm with you here. Come on.
Talk to me about your mac and cheese,
Okay,
chef.
it's basic Southern smoked mac and cheese. And
There's nothing basic about this, please.
Well, no,
This
listen.
is delicious.
Well, thank you. But you know, basically, you're talking about. I use 2 different types of cheese. There's mild and sharp cheddar cheese, butter, milk, eggs. It's fat.
Give away your secrets.
No, it is what it is, and I use a certain ingredient to give it that smoky flavor. The herbs I use on it, and so you can get it plain, but you can also get it with. Okay, so you marry Southern with Cajun, blackened shrimp, lobster, alligator sausage. And
Wait, alligator?
Yeah, alligator.
Oh, that
Alligator
sounds great.
sausage.
Yeah.
Is it
yeah.
mixed in or just
Interesting.
sprinkled on
No,
top?
you put it on the top.
I had crocodile once and I thought it tastes like briny chicken. What does alligator taste
Well,
like?
alligator can be tough, but you mix the alligator, you know, the purveyor mixes it with a little bit of pork to tenderize it. And so you have that, and of course it's very spicy as well, like the andouille sausage. It's not gamey. It doesn't taste like chicken, which everybody says it does. It's a really nice, flavorful, and you know, people are eating it, and they're starting to buy it. At first, like, nah. But then when they try, that's not so bad. And that's starting to sell as well.
Wow, well, you're selling well, and a lot of people are coming to your restaurant, and like you said, it's a mix between some of the media and music. A lot of celebrities are coming to your spot.
Yeah, we've had a lot of media greats. You know, Byron Pitts, Bill Whitaker. You know, of course, Randall Pinkston, Ron Allen, and some celebrities have been threatening to come from the theater world.
Threatening.
Yeah, I've heard. I don't know if I should mention the names. If someone's supposed
Put them
to
on
be coming
blast.
down.
Put them on. Name them and shame them.
No, I'm not going to do that because I just heard some big wig is coming down. In fact, he's in town for a couple of weeks on Broadway doing it. I think you kind of know who he is. A, B, C, D. With a W?
We don't want to shout. I thought you wanted to put them on blast.
No.
Okay.
No. I don't want, because who knows if they'll come. But the buzz is getting out there. You know, Barbara, of course, she's the quintessential jazz vocalist.
We have to talk about her because, I mean, first and foremost, we have the same surname. Hey, Auntie. Secondly, what is it like being in business with your spouse?
Yeah.
Barbara and I have been married for 34 years, and she is truly my best friend. And the thing about Barbara is, you know, when somebody's with you through thick and thin, through your highest and lowest points, you know you got somebody. I wanted to do something for her. I could have opened this up by myself, but I wanted a spot for her to sing. For African-American jazz, female jazz vocalists, if you were coming back to the world now, you would think that they didn't exist. So the Carmen McRae's and Nancy Wilsons and all those folks. So I wanted a place for her. Yeah, I wanted really a place for her. So now she has a place where she can sing and she can book. So she's in control.
So you get those live performances when you're coming and you're eating, enjoying food. You also do these
Every
live
Friday and Saturday we have live jazz. We're booked up all the way through April. We're going to extend that to jazz brunches and gospel brunches on Sunday. Probably Valentine's Day we're going to have something there. We'll just have a pianist come in. And what is better than on a Sunday morning for brunch, you get your New York Times, you have jazz, live pianists there in the background, you're reading, you're eating my frittatas.
All right now.
Making me hungry.
And your husband buys you a new diamond ring.
So I cook and she sings. We're also
Well, for those people that don't have a husband to buy them restaurants, what advice do you give to people who want to open up their own restaurant? Because a lot of people have this dream, especially in New York, of opening a restaurant.
pray. It is extremely difficult under any circumstance. There's a lot going on, you know, there's a lot of things, permits, all sorts of stuff, people with their hands out. It's very, very difficult. So if you do not have a passion, see, there's a difference. There's some people say, oh yeah, I want to open a restaurant because I like to cook and I like to talk to people. No, these days, in days of old, you could open up a restaurant and cook, but now you have to deal with the New York City Health Department. You have to be a cook, you have to be an attorney, you have to be an accountant.
And it has to be unique as well, because there's tons of restaurants.
Yeah, Yeah, a lot of times, you know, Shannon, there's nothing new under the sun, but you have to have something. You have to have a niche. And if you don't have that, you're opening up something that's just continental. It's very, very difficult.
Absolutely.
We now have a wing spot for blackened wings.
Yes, indeed. You certainly have carved your niche, and we will be delving into this during the break.
Right now.
Stick around. We've got a lot more Rise Entertainment 360 for you, and I will be devouring this mac and cheese for me. After the break. No, why are you doing this to me? You're going to eat off camera. Stop.
She's watching her figure.
I'm not. No, I eat so
beautiful.
much. Really? I just find the act of eating on camera revolting. Look at that. I can feel it. I can feel the saliva, all that shit.
Feed!
Feed my lovely. What's up, Welcome back to Rise Entertainment 360. It is now time to go over the best and worst Super Bowl commercials. So let's start with the best.
Okay, we love the best, right?
So my favorite, we spoke about it last week, has to be, without a shadow of a doubt,
Shadow of a doubt.
the Doritos Mountain Dew commercial.
You know, a lot of people really love that commercial. You weren't the only one. The party I was at, everyone was like, yeah, that's
Because it was fire!
It was
No pun
fire,
intended.
and it was ice cold.
I like what you did there. So we, of course, okay, guys, forgive me, I don't actually know any Game of Thrones characters. So we have the short guy from Game of Thrones in the commercial. But the funny part about it was he was rapping Missy Elliott's lyrics.
No, he was doing Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes!
Right. Morgan
And then
Freeman
thank
was doing
you.
Missy Elliott.
You know
Yes.
what? Instead of messing it up, let's just let you take a look.
There we go.
Amazon's Alexa lost her voice this morning, causing a
Alexa lost her voice. How is that even possible?
We have the replacements ready. Just say the word.
And you're sure this is going to work?
Yeah.
Alexa, show me a recipe for a grilled cheese sandwich.
Pathetic. You're 32 years of age, and you don't know how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. Its name is the recipe, you.
Alexa, how far is Mars?
How far is Mars? Well, how am I supposed to know? I've never been there. This guy want to go to Mars. For what? There's not even oxygen there.
Alexa, set the mood.
Now setting the mood. You're in the bush, and you're just so dirty, and you're so sweaty, because it's hot in that bush.
Alexa, reboot.
Alexa, play some country music.
I don't dance now. I make money moves.
No, Alexa, country music.
Alexa, call Brandon.
I'm afraid Brandon is a little tied up.
I mean, Alexa, how do I get to... No, you know what?
No.
I'm not even going to do it. Too much profanity. I don't know how you get there. Don't ask me no questions. Okay.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Thank you. She's my spirit animal.
Okay, you have another fave?
I would say my absolute favorite was the Doritos one, Dorito Mountain Dew, but then also the Alexa one and the Tide commercial I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. Tide was pretty good. The Tide played a pun on a lot of different commercials in that one commercial.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at it right now, and then we'll discuss a little bit more about what they did here and why it was great, okay? Okay, so it was crazy. They had this theme rolling out throughout the night where they had another commercial that looked like the Budweiser Bush commercial, and then they said, nope, it's a Tide ad. Or other commercials. And they just basically, they hijacked other commercials and made it a Tide ad.
It's a great way to not have to spend any money on conceptualizing your advert.
Exactly, and then other people got a little advertising out of it too. So I wonder if they had to go half and half on that $5 million commercial.
If you're going to steal our idea, at least pay for it.
Yeah, I'm saying, just pay a little bit, right?
So let's talk about the worst Super Bowl commercials.
Well, there were a few ones that just did not work, and a lot of people were talking about the Ram truck commercial.
I don't even know what that is.
They used Martin Luther King's voice to sell a truck, basically.
No.
So a lot of people were up in arms about this whole thing.
What?
Well, we have a clip that we're going to be able to show you so you can take a look and judge for yourself and see if this is a good thing or if it's a bad thing. Take a look. I don't know. Okay, so this just makes no sense at all. I mean, I get the whole song. It's a real fan favorite for Super Bowl. You play this song and everyone's hype and they're excited, but it doesn't work for the Vikings.
It didn't work.
And imagine hearing Martin Luther King's voice under that.
Epic
pretty much
fail.
same commercial.
Epic fail. I'm so unimpressed. You can see it on my face. Yeah.
Okay, now, I like the next commercial.
I love the next commercial.
But a lot of people didn't like it.
I don't know why it's on our worst list.
I know, that's because other people said it wasn't in
You know what, to be fair, I don't know that we like it because of the concept. We just like it because of the woman that fronted it.
Black power.
Hey,
girl power.
we want
Black girls
everybody
rock.
black.
Well, you guys take a look at this Groupon commercial. This stars Tiffany Haddish, and you tell us what you think. Yeah. I don't know.
3 people try to eat me today. 3! Ooh, lucky penny. Anyway, sometimes I wish I were human.
Whoa! Look at me! I'm human! Do you want to eat me?
No.
Do you want to eat me?
No, thanks.
No? Would you like to eat me? Nobody wants to eat me! I'm the luckiest!
You dropped your lucky penny.
Man, I look good.
You're still short and bald.
What was Groupon thinking? They missed it.
Groupon, why would you spend money on M&M's? Guys, unfortunately, that was the worst commercial on our list, and it was actually for M&M's as opposed to Groupon. Groupon's was apparently so bad they didn't even want to show it on our show. Hey,
I actually thought that was a cute M&M commercial, though.
I thought it was too.
Danny DeVito
They found someone the same size as the M&M.
And she said, you're still short and bald. I was like, oh, low blow for Danny DeVito, but apparently he didn't mind it. He was getting a check, so hey, why not?
Let's talk about one of the commercials up next, and it's either M&M's or Febreze.
I'm not going to say which one it is. You guys look at it. You decide if it's good or bad or indifferent. You tell us. Just look at it whenever they decide to roll it.
Either way, it's on our worst Super Bowl commercials list. Take a look.
When you use Groupon in your neighborhood, you're not only saving money, you're also supporting local business. I mean, what kind of person wouldn't want to support local business?
I hate local business. Family owned, even better. Shut it down.
When you save in your neighborhood, it feels so good. It didn't feel good for him, though.
That would not feel good at all. I just love the fact that she just laughs at the end. It just makes your spirits happy to hear her laugh, right?
I mean, it's hilarious. She's hilarious. The show has been hilarious. We are hilarious.
What can you do?
Hey!
Yes, that's live
Super
TV,
Bowl
folks.
is over.
And that's the Super Bowl. It's over. Our show's over for today. But don't worry, we will be back tomorrow, and we'll hope to see you then. Hopefully.
We will.
Yes. I'm Shannon Lanier.
And I'm Katira King. See you tomorrow.
Peace.